Good morning, world. It's Jeff's Little Engine Service here. I have a Yard Machines lawnmower that's only 1 year old and it will not start. I know what's going on. It's the fuel system. I've seen this a lot this year. First thing I did was drained the gas tank, and I don't know if you can see it in there, but there is a lot of sediment and just stuff, so we need to clean all that out first. Can you see it? All the stuff in there. I usually just let the sun beat on the tank for a few hours after I drained out, tip it over and drain it out. Once it's completely dry, I just blow some compressed air in there and all the stuff comes flying out. That's how I clean out gas tanks. Now I need to take off the carburetor, but don't fear, it's a lot easier than it sounds. Let's start with taking off the air filter cover here. And I believe we have 4 little bolts in there that we have to take off first. So let's do that. Okay, let's take this apart. Got my 9/32 socket here, and we're just going to go ahead and take this off. I'll speed this up so you guys don't have to watch me do all this. And we have to disconnect that little breather tube and it comes right off. Now's a good time to take off the fuel line. I always give it a couple of twists here. Makes it come off easier. I should just be able to twist this carburetor off, but there is a trick to get it off the linkages here, which I'll show you. See, it just pulls right out. And I believe, let's see, the first way we need to rotate the carburetor is this way. At least that's what we're going to try. Be careful with these. Yeah, I think I can get that linkage off just by rotating the carburetor. Yep. So we got that linkage off, which is the automatic choke linkage. And then we rotate the carburetor this way, and we can get it off the throttle linkage. Now we're free. Let's take this carburetor apart and see what's plugging things up. You have 2 bolts on the bottom of the carburetor. Whoops. And that's what you need to... You have these 2 bolts on the bottom of the carburetor, which is what you need to take off. Okay, take note of the configuration of the float bowl. This little square goes towards the front of the engine is how I always remember it. But just make sure you put the float bowl back on the correct way. You can usually remove this float bowl by twisting it or inserting a screwdriver and kind of prying it off, which is what I'm going to do. Kind of pry it a little bit and it starts to come off. And be careful when you take it off so you can not spill everything out and you get a good idea what's in there plugging things up. Yeah, I'll focus the camera in here, but as you can see, if you can see it, there's definitely some stuff floating around in there. Little bits of crud in there we need to clean up. The rest of the carburetor looks like it's in pretty good shape, so I'll just clean all that out. Brush it out with the toothbrush and spray it out. Make sure it's all spotless before I reassemble. One thing you definitely need to check when servicing these carburetors is the little main jet here. This is what gets plugged. It's this little brass jet right here. And this one, it is plugged for sure. That's why this engine's not running. I just use a little piece of wire here to clean out that little hole, poke it out, make sure that it's flowing freely again. I can see in that hole now we're clear, so we're ready to go back together. Blow out all the little holes, nooks and crannies. See, we are spotless now and ready to go back together. Now remember, reassembly this way with the square right here pointed towards the front of the engine, which would be this way. It's sometimes a good idea to put a little WD-40 on this O-ring to get it to go into position better, but you see, that's how it fits. Put these linkages back on. I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to put the throttle linkage on first, try to reassemble this the opposite of how I took it apart. Alright, we have the back linkage on. My long needle nose pliers should help with this linkage here. Okay, so now I should just rotate the carburetor. I'll just rotate the carburetor up. And yeah, I should be able to put that automatic choke linkage right back into place. With a little effort here. You can bend this linkage a little bit, but you don't want to permanently distort it. There you go. And you just push the carburetor back into place. Ready for the fuel line here. Now you just put things back together the way they came off. And I'll speed this up for you so you don't have to watch me be bored. Make sure you reconnect this breather tube